Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 15, the killing of Dhenuka, the ass demon, text 32 and 33. Text 32. Satangrihitva prapador brahmayitvaikapanina chikshepatruna rajagre brahmanatyakta jivitam. Lord Balarama seized Dhenuka by his hoofs, whirled him about with one hand and threw him into the top of a palm tree. The violent wheeling motion killed the demon. Text 33. So please repeat after me. Tena ahataha maha talaha vepamanaha brihat shiraha parshva stam kampayan bhagnaha saha cha anyam saha api cha aparam tenahato mahatalo vepamano brihachiraha parshvastam kampayan bhagna sachanyang sopi chaparam tenahato mahatalo vepamano brihachiraha parshvastam kampayan bhagna sachanyang sopi chaparam tenahato mahatalo vepamano brihachiraha parshvastam kampayan bhagna sachanyang sopi chaparam. Matajis. Tenahato mahatalo vepamano brihachiraha parshvastam kampayan bhagna sachanyang sopi chaparam. Tena, by that body of the dead Dhenukasura, ahataha, struck, mahatalaha, the great palm tree, vepamanaha, trembling. Brihatshiraha, which had a large top. Parshvastam, another situated beside it. Kampayan, making shake. Bhagnaha, broken. Saha, that. Cha, and. Anyam, another. Saha, that. Api, yet. Cha, and. Aparam, another.
Balaram threw the dead body of Dhenukasura into the tallest palm tree in the forest. And when the dead demon landed in the treetop, the tree began shaking, the great palm tree, causing a tree by its side also to shake, broke under the weight of the demon. The neighboring tree caused yet another tree to shake, and this one struck yet another tree, which also began shaking. In this way, many trees in the forest shook and broke. Purport: Lord Balaram threw the demon Dhenuka so violently into the great palm tree that a chain reaction was unleashed, and many towering palm trees shook and then broke with a great crashing sound. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Shreshtham Manomapi Shachiputra Matrasrupam Rupam Tasya Vajamurabhatu Koshtavat Radha Kundam Girivarama Radhika Madhavasha Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Shri Vaishnava Shri Rupam Savajatam Savanam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadatam Arjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Madhav Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Dine Smaraya Vinasha Alaya Shri Japa Pura Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam deals extensively with the pastimes of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although other forms of the Lord are described and discussed in cantos previous to this, the 10th canto, which is by far the largest of the 12 cantos, deals with Krishna and his pastimes in some detail, but not very much detail. Because if we want to have a biography of a person, then there's so many things which could be written. It's practically unlimited. If we see what a person does at any moment, of course, much of it may be routine. Getting up in the morning, defecating, brushing the teeth, and so on. It may be routine. but the interplay of human interaction and with other living beings also. How one person is thinking of another, how they exchange various feelings, how there can be misunderstandings, how relationships develop, how there can be ups and downs. Apart from the activities that a person does, there can be. If we get to the platform of dealings and relationships, then it's unlimited. The activities that a person does, well, generally biographies are written about people who do something exceptional in human society. Krishna is the most exceptional. But even one pastime, it's described here, it's only described in brief, the going to the Tal forest, killing the demon and demons. We only get a brief overview of it, exactly what everyone was thinking. We can have some idea. By now the cowherd boys are confident of Krishna, that we can go, there's a big demon and he's confident that Krishna will kill him. They have that confidence. They're afraid to go, but they think if Krishna goes, then where's the problem? He's killed so many demons already. But there's a lot of human interaction. We get the human, of course it's superhuman, but what we would call human from our perspective. It's Krishna is, from our perspective, a human. Krishna Jate Kela Sarvotam Naralila Narabapu Taha Sharup. Among all the plays of Krishna, he's playing, all his pastimes are play. The topmost is in his Sarvotam Naralila, when he's like a human. The topmost is when he's like a human, and the human form is his actual original form. We can roughly translate this. We get a picture of Krishna and the cowherd boys, and it's all very simple. They're all very simple boys who, they're all with Krishna, they're playing, they're laughing, they're singing, they're dancing. But there's probably a lot more going on than that. In Gopi Leela, it's described to some extent how it's not just singing and dancing happily. There are many pictures of Krishna and with Radha, and the deities also. We see the Radha and Krishna deities. The forms are made so they're slightly smiling. They look very peaceful and happy. But there's a lot going on. A lot of ups and downs and ins and outs in the relationship. We get some idea in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam when Krishna, he slights the gopis or seems to insult them, or he plays around with them and their emotions. He calls them by the flute. That's understood by them as a call for them to go. But then he tells them to go back home. And they don't agree. And Krishna dances, he leaves, and then Radha leaves. And we get, after the gopis there, a lot of indirect stuff going on. where they indirectly blame Krishna by asking him about lovers, and there are some lovers who reciprocate and some are grateful and some are not grateful. And indirectly saying, Krishna, why are you treating us so roughly, so badly? And at some point they just seem to accept that, well, Krishna is going to treat us badly because he's like that. It's just his life after life he's like that. This Shurpanaka approached him, quite valid to approach a kshatriya to fulfill her sexual desire. And he had her nose cut off. And then Bali Maharaj was a very good king and offered everything to Krishna, and Krishna just punished him, insulted him, and Ram also. Vali killed him by trickery, and so what can you expect? He's like that. So we do find something of this, and the Acharyas have elaborated on that. Especially Rupa Goswami has elaborated on that in books which give pastimes which we don't find in what is accepted by pretty much everyone else in India, including other Vaishnava sampradayas. They don't accept them to be canonical or authoritative. They're not Shastra. And especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given some insights into what's going on in everyone's mind and what are the nuances that are going on in his commentaries throughout the Bhagavatam, and especially in the 10th canto, and even his Bhagavad Gita commentary. He gives some idea of what Krishna and Arjuna are thinking, what is implied when Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. Krishna tells Arjuna, you declare it, that my devotee will never be vanquished, because Krishna thinks that people won't believe me if I say it. I'm from Mathura, and everyone knows that Mathura people, you can't trust anything they say or do. So you better declare it. I wonder, everything else in Bhagavad Gita, they may accept it or not accept it. Yatecha Sita Thakura. But I want this to be established, and people will believe you, so you say it. I'm not going to say it. So Vishwanath Chakravarti, he gives this comment. In the pastimes of Krishna being tied up by Mother Yashoda, also our acharyas have given more information about what's going on and commentary and what are the interactions. But in the cowherd pastimes we don't have. It seems to be that the tradition of worshipping Krishna in the cowherd boy mood never developed very much. There's one branch of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's follower. You would expect that to have developed in the line of Nityananda. Why didn't it? Anyone has any idea why it didn't develop? There's one very striking reason why it didn't develop in that line. Because afterwards, his wife, Janava Mata, she promoted Manjari Bhav. She was the one who she went to Vrindavan, she saw the deities established by the Goswamis. There's only Krishna, and she arranged for Radha deities to go there. But we don't get much background of what's going on between Krishna and the cowherd boys. And there is rivalry going on. We know from earlier that Balaram, and there's a whole, not just Balaram, but a whole group is up against Krishna and his group accusing Krishna, going to Mother Yashoda and accusing Krishna has eaten dirt, which is a really, really bad thing. They want, he enters people's houses and breaks the yogurt pots and distributes the butter to the monkeys. And that's not a very bad, but eating dirt, that's really bad among young. You can see the childishness and the innocence there also. But we never get to find out if Krishna had actually eaten dirt or not. And it's never explained. We get to see that Krishna automatically has all the dirt in the whole universe in his mouth and everything else in the universe. But we see that there's some kind of rivalry going on there between two different groups. And they resolve and they go on. There aren't any grudges there. Even we have in Vrindavan a whole team of shadow husbands for the gopis to enhance the pastimes. Kutila and Jatila, they're always against Radha and very much against Krishna. They're also necessary for the pastimes. They appear to be almost like demons, although they're, from our perspective, but from their perspective, from the perspective of what Krishna comes to teach, proper morality, they're on the right side. There are so many paradoxes. Krishna comes to teach dharma, but he appears to be himself the very symbol of adharma in so much, well, especially in his dealings with other people's wives, and others may accuse him of so many things also. Anyway, the point I'm focusing on here is that we don't know so many things, what's going on between the cowherd boys. Some kind of rivalry must be there. Among young boys, there must be. They're all in the same group, but there's some rivalry between them. But it's all Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. It's all transcendental bliss. Sometimes it gets too much, and then we become Mayavadis. We just, it's too much. Just close it all down. People find life is too much. I just can't go on with it. Just commit suicide. So the impersonalists are like that also. It's just the whole material existence is just too much. Just end our existence. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to teach personalism. And indirectly he teaches that we're going to be in anxiety forever. We're always going to have this kind of thing. But we should come to the platform of Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, spiritual exchanges with Krishna. In this material world, exchanges, they can lead to some affection and some love on the material platform. But that is always mixed with grief. It's always on the platform, ultimately, of selfishness. Whereas dealings with Krishna, it's all bliss, even though it may appear to not be bliss. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, indirectly, he teaches us that it's better the pain of separation from Krishna, which is very high level. We don't find that. Just the opposite in Vaikuntha. We don't find that. We get a beginning of that in Ram Leela. But taken to the ultimate point in Vrindavan, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to, he's Krishna coming to feel the pain of separation from himself. And he teaches that this rasa is better than stopping all exchanges, even though there will be ups and downs and ins and outs and misunderstandings and friends and enemies and everything that typifies material life. This is much more relishable. This is what we should really be doing, rather than just trying to block it all out, which is another phase of rejection of Krishna. Chaitanya Lila we have in more detail. Mostly in ISKCON we're familiar with Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Bengali Vaishnavism, as I have known it from spending years in Bengal, in Gauriya Math and among the broader Vaishnava community, Chaitanya Bhagavatam is also very well known. Although definitely the emphasis is on Chaitanya Charitamrita, because that brings out, which is not even stated in Chaitanya Bhagavatam, the internal reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Chaitanya Bhagavatam is really brought into perspective by Chaitanya Charitamrita. And there are other biographical works also. Different devotees see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from their own individual perspective. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami sees him, sees Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the eye of a devotee who has entrance into the understanding that Rupa Goswami particularly revealed, and others have continued to reveal since Rupa Goswami. Vrindavan Das saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as is appropriate especially for his Navadvip Leela, as Gaur Bhagavan, Gaur Narayana. The other famous Bengali biography, Chaitanya Mangal by Lochan Das, there's at least hints therein of Nagari Bhav, of seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the beautiful enjoyer of Navadvip. And there are other biographies also. Some are quite spurious. Jayananda's Chaitanya Mangal is rejected by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and many scholars, although some accept. And there are the Sanskrit biographies, early biographies. There are works written in Oriya. There are so many things. But still, we only get a little glimpse. Otherwise, it all taken together, it could be huge. In Bengali, one disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Swami, his name is, what is his full name? Tarak Brahma, that's what people call him, but there's Tarak Brahma something. You know, he's written so many books. You remember his full name? Tarak Brahma Nam or something like that. So he's done two volumes, each volume this thick, where he's in Bengali, of bringing together all the details from the biographies. I was just looking at it quickly. I have it in, when I get around to it, I definitely want to read it. I brought in something which I hadn't known before. It was that it's that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, after he'd been converted, he himself went to Varanasi to speak with Prakasha Ananda. And I'm wondering, where is this from? It's in Chaitanya Charit by Kavi Karnapur, which is not translated in English. So that's the... And then Tony Stewart, a scholar, mundane scholar, I have to read his book also, wrote how Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's accepted as the ultimate authority among Gauriya Vaishnavas for resolving all different points. There's a book in Bengali also, Chaitanya Charita Upadan by Biman Bihari Majumdar, in which he examines all the different biographies, and there may be some things which are the same, some things are different. Who are the devotees who accompanied Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when they went from Shantipur to Puri the first time? And some things are different, differently described. So it's a great topic, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati warned us not to get too much into all this historical attitude of trying to understand. We should rather understand what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach and what he came to give. And we do get more insight into in Chaitanya Charitamrita especially, we get insight into the kind of dealings that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had with his devotees. There are lots of ups and downs and ins and outs and misunderstandings there. He really messed up Prataparudra, first of all by having Ramananda Rai resign, and all of a sudden there's a whole huge area of his Prataparudra's kingdom which he had a responsible, steady man doing, and all of a sudden he's not there, he's gone. But Prataparudra didn't get angry, he just gave him a full, oh, you're so fortunate. And he gave him a full pension, you can stay. And when you heard me say that Chaitanya messed up Prataparudra, you might have thought I'm going to say because he refused to see him. Well, that came later. Well, Prataparudra, he didn't find out about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was finding out in Sarvabhauma and what's going on. Oh, I heard this about in Sarvabhauma. Yeah, but he's gone. What? He left. Why didn't you keep him? Sarvabhauma said, well, yeah. It's obvious you should have kept him, but we couldn't. He went. We can't control him. And then Prataparudra was very anxious to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very strict and rigid on this. Some of his dealings may be very difficult to understand. People criticize. Up to the present time, people criticize how he left his... Well, first of all, the Smartas in Navadvip were complaining that he's upsetting the old system of religion. They went to complain to the Qazi about him, and it was also complaining about him and also for their own protection, saying, it's not us who are disturbing by doing all this. Don't punish all of the Hindus, because we're against that also. You should punish him. And indirectly they're saying, don't kill us all. Don't punish us all because of this one man's fault. And then from the external point of view, it seemed quite justified that young Nimai was angry and threatening to punish a Brahmana boy, and this boy, he's just too much, this boy. From the external point of view, it seemed right. And then he left home, and they criticize, some people criticize up to the present day that he left his mother and young wife, didn't even give her a child. So criticism is there, but he had to do what he had to do to fulfill the purposes of his avatar. And some things may be very difficult to understand. We think of especially the pastimes with Chota Haridas. Why was he so rigid? First of all, to punish him, and the devotees thought that, well, okay, we don't understand it, but just wait for a few days for him to cool down. That's what they told him. Automatically he'll change. 1 year. He didn't change. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't change. He was very strict on this, even though there wasn't really any fault on Chota Haridas's part. If we see that he specifically said that he's with that Madhavi Devi is highly advanced, elderly, tapasvini, she's very austere, and people don't get sexually attracted to old women. Well, I don't know. Nowadays, anything's possible. But it's not expected. Just as a side note, it used to be common in the Bengali villages that old women, probably from the lower caste, they just walk around with no covering on their top part of their body. And yeah, have you been in you're from the city, is it? Where are you from? Where are you from? You lived outside Bengal all your life. Yeah, you go even in Mayapur, you see the Muslim women that go and bathe in the pond, and they don't bother to cover the upper part of their body, and it's just understood no one gets sexually attracted. Not Mayapur, just before you come to Mayapur. Before Barman Poko, what's that? I can't remember the name. So, Srila Prabhupada said that there was some young woman there who he glanced lustfully. But anyway, they thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will cool down his anger, but he didn't. From this we can understand I've thought a lot about this and written a lot about it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to give any room for so-called special relationships between men and women in his sampradaya, that in the name of transcendental relationship, a man is close with a woman who he shouldn't be close to according to the rules of dharma. Sometimes we hear that the sannyasi has a special relationship with some woman, but sannyasi, the special relationship is on the spiritual platform, but not that there's close, intimate dealings. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that. But then again, when Damodar Pandit criticized, well, he didn't exactly criticize, but he warned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that this young boy is coming to you, and his mother is a young, beautiful widow, and she's very good. Damodar Pandit said, the only problem is that she's a woman, and you're a sannyasi. And she's a woman, she's young, she's beautiful, she's not married because she's a widow. And her son is coming, and Damodar said, this is not going to look good for you. And he was right. It wouldn't look good, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, you shouldn't criticize, you better go to Bengal. Go and make sure my mother's not getting into any trouble. Maybe indirectly he was saying my ex-wife, because sannyasi is not even supposed to mention the name or even think of his ex-wife. So there are so many nuances and so many things going on, which they all add to the rasa. There's in Chaitanya, in Krishna's pastimes, Vrindavan especially is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, it's all bliss, but there's killing of demons also. But then when Krishna went outside of Vrindavan, then he was very much concentrated on, of course, dealing in devotional exchange with his devotees, but he was also very much fulfilling his role as Vinashayata Dushkritam. And he told the residents of Vrindavan, I'll just be 2-3, I'll just kill a few demons and have a little work to do, then I'll come back. And who knows, he may have been sincere. We're talking about Krishna here, who knows everything and simultaneously by his yoga by potency doesn't. So it's very difficult to understand the mind of God. With all due respect to Stephen Hawking and Paul Davis, you're never going to understand the mind of God. You can never understand even the mind of, look at that little girl, baby there. Her mother knows her very well. She doesn't understand everything about it. Do mothers understand their children? I don't think so. I think the children understand the mothers much better than the mothers understand the children, because they know how to manipulate them. And it's an ongoing battle from the beginning. As soon as they can start to walk, it's an ongoing psychological battle. But it's bliss. And Yashoda and Krishna had that also. That was going on. And then Yashoda, she took the extreme step of actually punishing Krishna, which she is quite justified to do so. But then Krishna, he manipulated that situation, and Yashoda, everyone turned against her. What could she do? She was in a lose-lose situation. But it's all bliss. But this cowherd boy pastimes, that hasn't been elaborated on. Maybe in course of time, someone will come and elaborate on that. Should be, because as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement spreads, we can expect there'll be more. There's a lot of insight on Ram Leela, talking about things which are not directly in Shastra, that others may criticize, but there's so much is discussed in different sampradayas about the conjugal pastimes between Padmavati and Balaji, and their whole dramas and their songs. There are all kinds. It's not exactly Shastra, but it's accepted as authoritative because it's understood that devotees, they have transcendental insight by which they can see Krishna's pastimes. So that may come with the cowherd pastimes also, cowherd boys pastimes. But the real solution is just to go there and be there and experience it. It's a long way to go. Vrindavan is a long way to go. Long way. You have to cross over the mountains and the valleys and the traps and the whirlpools and the ocean and of material desires and material attachments. And as soon as we start to think we're free, we discover that we're not free. There are a lot more traps. We may start off in spiritual life and we start cleaning up, trying to clean out the heart of all the bad things. And we think we're doing very well. And we think, okay, now we can, just like playing chess, you play at a certain level and you think, now I'm really good. Okay, now come to the next level. And then you play chess and there's 25 people in the room and one person playing with them, and among the 25 in the chess club, one is much better than the others, and one person comes around and just in 10 seconds, looks at the board, moves a piece, goes on to the next board, and in 15 minutes maximum finishes them all off. And okay, now you have to come to the next level. You think you're doing pretty good. Now come to the next level of complexity, and then the next, and the next. And they're still playing chess, although the computers can defeat them all. So we may think so first of all we have to conquer, get past that, and then and then there's the last snare of Maya, which is merging, the idea of merging into impersonal Brahman, and then Vaikuntha, the journey of Gopakumar, we can see Vaikuntha, Ayodhya, Dwaraka, and then he reached Vrindavan. And after that, Sanatana Goswami leaves it there. So we all have a long way to go, but at the same time we can be there right now. With the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Bhagavatam. We have insights into Krishna's pastimes. We can start to be there. Hare Krishna. I'll finish there. All glories to His Divine Grace. His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.